This is Dave Palumbo with RxMuscle.com. I'm here at the 2011 LA Fit Expo. I am standing here with Lonnie, the Swami Teper, and we are going to do a 2011 Arnold Classic predictions video here. Lonnie, things have changed a little bit. There's a new guard coming in. There's new up-and-coming competitors coming into this Arnold Classic this year that we haven't really seen before that could actually be a dominant force. It's not just that top Olympia group. That's
true, and one of the new guards is the new sponsorship proposal for the 2011 NPC West Coast Classic that I'm putting on June 25th at El Monte High School. Species was a sponsor. See in the back right here, I want to thank all the sponsors. Species,
yeah,
right
we sponsored you last year.
Yeah, so, if you want to sign this before you leave the expo today, that's really great. I really love that support, and...
See, I can't get the guy to do a wrap-up with me.
That's the only reason I'm doing this wrap-up. Okay, put this aside.
All right, I'll sign. That's the Dave Lieberman tactics of sponsorship.
No, if it was Lieberman, I would have tackled you as you were walking up the stairs.
You're right.
Okay, getting back to the Arnold, you're right, Dave. This is, because... Kai Green and Phil Heath, who went 1-2 last year, and Kai Green, the two-time defending champion, is not doing the show. It's still a great lineup, but now
wide
it's
open.
Really up for grabs. And
probably the highest-ranking guy out there has to be Dexter Jackson, I would think.
Dexter Jackson's a 3-time champion, but remember this, that Branch Warren has defeated Dexter Jackson the last 3 times they faced off on stage.
True.
And he's also won the most muscular award at the Arnold 4 times in a row.
That's a record.
That's a record. If Branch Warren can't win the Arnold this year, can he ever win it?
That's a very good question because the rap against Branch has always been it's not been enough it's not that he doesn't have enough muscle, it's not that he doesn't have enough conditioning because he's got probably more of that than anyone else out there. It's people structurally don't like necessarily the way he looked. He doesn't flow as nice as a Dexter Jackson or a Dennis Wolf or even an Evan Centopani who's coming up. Can he overcome that stigma and get the first place victory from these judges?
Yes, Dave, I think he can, and I'll tell you why. Despite and I think his shape is a little better than people give him credit for, but remember at the 2009 Olympia, that shape was good enough to finish second only to Jay Cutler.
True.
Last year at the Olympia, he was third, and he finished ahead of Dexter Jackson, and he was third at the Arnold, and he finished ahead of Dexter Jackson.
You think he's got Dexter Jackson's number down?
I don't know. It's apples and oranges. And I was even talking with Dexter at Gold's Gym Venice a week ago, and even he said it's apples and oranges. You got a shape guy, a real beautiful physique, Dexter Jackson, the classic bodybuilding statue-like physique,
sure.
And Branch Warren, the blue-collar, hardcore, where's the beef?
Right.
So the fans of freaky muscle like Branch Warren.
Right. But Dexter Jackson does have experience winning that show. Like you said, Charles Glass, who's working with him. I mean, Dexter moved out to California to be with Charles to train every single day. They train 5 days a week, takes the weekends off. Charles Glass says this is the best Dexter Jackson that he's seen.
Boy, that's hard to say that because Dexter Jackson's been flawless to me just about every time I've seen him on stage. I will say this, I'm still not taking Branch Warren out of the mix. I'm calling it co-favorites going in. Dexter Jackson. If anybody other than Dexter Jackson or Branch Warren, and I have one other guy in my little Swami sphere here that can beat them, but I'm having those two as the co-favorites, and I'm going with either Dexter or Branch to win the Arnold.
Let's talk about Evan Centopani, who might be the wild card factor in here. He won the New York Pro 2 years ago. This is his first show. He took 2 years to basically train for this Arnold Classic. He'll be competing at the Flex show 2 weeks earlier, but do you think Centopani has made the improvements or might have made the improvements to step into a show like this and win it?
Like you say, he's really taken time off. I think the kid has got size. He's got a lot of muscle. He's a better modern-day version of Mike Matarazzo. I think Centopani can mix it up with these people. I think he's going to battle for a top 5 slot. Still kind of an unknown quantity.
He's the dark horse, really?
He's kind of the dark horse. I have an X factor in this show, too, but I put Centopani as a dark horse. When I emceed him at the Nationals, he won in 2007. He's only done one show. He won the New York Pro.
Right.
So if he's getting better, just how good is he? Can he surpass these seasoned veterans that quick? I don't think so. I'm not going to have him in the top 3 at the Arnold, but I definitely think he can battle for a top 5, top 6 finish.
I think Centopani will make the top 3 at the Arnold, but I'm just going to throw that out there. Let's talk about a couple of other guys that are kind of also newer guys coming up. We have Winkler, wins the New York Pro last year, made a splash at the Arnold here last year also, even though he didn't place as well as many people thought he should have. Is this guy your dark horse that you think that could surprise this lineup?
Well, Centopani is my dark horse, but the X factor in this lineup, and I'm going to, probably this is the last time I'm going to say this about this particular competitor, but Victor Martinez is the one guy out of the group that we're going to talk about, the one guy that I think can also win this contest. If he comes in spot on, he could beat Dexter and he can beat Branch.
He's beat them before.
Yeah, well, he can beat anybody when he's spot on.
Chris Aceto and I were talking about Victor, and we said also, you're right, Victor Martinez, if he comes in with the conditioning level that he brought when he won the Night of Champions in 2003, could easily win this show.
Yeah, and getting back to Winkler, Dave, you're right. You know, he... I MC the Arnold Amateur as well as the Arnold Classic that weekend, and you've been at the amateur show. You've seen which spectacular bodybuilders they have. Winkler's phenomenal. You know, he's chiseled. Should have been higher in his debut at the Arnold. Flopped at the Olympia. Was off at the Olympia.
Yeah, he was flat.
But he won his first pro show, like you said, New York Pro. It's a chance at a little
top 5?
He could be. He could be, and so could Essa Obiad, who won the amateur last year, who won his pro debut
at the Europa Super Show.
Europa. So the last 2 winners of the Arnold Amateur are both factors at the pro level.
Who do you like? Who do you think is a better between those 2 guys, Essa Obiad or Winkler?
God, that's a tough one. I think Obiad may be a little better shape, and Winkler maybe a little more
freaky,
hardcore, a little freaky. Could go either way.
Let's talk about the X-Man, Tony Freeman. Speaking of X factors, we know Freeman can certainly make that top 3 group if he ever brings the conditioning level back that he had at that 2000, I believe, 6 Olympia. Do you think that Freeman's time has passed him, or do you think that he still has what it takes?
You know, 2 years ago, if you asked me that question, I'd say you can't do this as 44 years old. But we had 3 guys in the Olympia stage last year that were 44. Tony Freeman, Dennis James, and Troy Alves, who got 15th, who I think still has one of the most beautiful physiques in bodybuilding. So I don't think it's so much the age. I think the thing with Tony is he worries about getting too big.
Yes.
You know, he goes up to 285, 290, something like that. I think if he can come in at 265 pounds at about 6'2 and a half, he's still got beautiful shape. And he's a guy I'm not gonna put him in the top 3 right now because of what he's done in recent showings, but if he jumped into that mix, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. Dennis Wolf, 5th place at the Olympia. There's been a lot of controversy lately about what show he was going to do first. He is doing the Flex show now. I saw pictures of him. He was over 300 pounds. He had some weight to lose. What do you think don't give me his potential. What do you think he's going to do at this show? Give me a prediction.
Well, to me, the jury's still out on Dennis Wolf. Did he look way better at the Olympia last year than I thought he would? Yes, I didn't pick him in the top 10, and he ended up 5th. That said, I think there's some things he still needs to improve on. He hasn't won me over yet. I think he could be a great bodybuilder, but now 2011 is going to tell the story. He's had his ups and downs. He's been like the stock market. Now's a chance to put it on the line. Show me that you're going to battle for the title at the Arnold Classic, and then I'll put you in a top 5, top 6 contender for the Olympia. But right now, I'm not having him in my top 3 at the Arnold.
Ronnie Raquel. Does this guy crack that top 6? He's one of these guys that you always don't talk about, and then the day of the show, you see all these guys a little off, a little out of shape, and Raquel slips in there.
Well, yes, he does. And matter of fact, I had Raquel beating Wolf, in my opinion, at the Olympia.
Really?
A beautiful physique. The guy's not the biggest guy. What is he, 5'6", 218 pounds or whatever, but what a beautifully balanced body. Ronnie Raquel, definitely a top 6 contender.
Let's lay it out there, Lonnie. Top 5 or top 6 prediction at the Arnold Classic that's coming up in less than 6 weeks.
Do I have to do it in order, or just who's going to end up in the top
You're
6?
the predictor. It's got to be in order.
This is going to be hard. And I haven't seen anybody.
That's why it's hard.
Okay, are you going to do it too after I do it?
I'm going to do it too, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Branch Warren. I think his time has come. Even though Dexter Jackson's one of my favorite all-time bodybuilders, I'm going to go Branch Warren first, Dexter Jackson second. The third one's the really one that I'm really, it's up in the air. Evan Centopani, third.
All right, there you go. You just moved him into the top three like I predicted.
Moving in the top three, I'm going to go...
you haven't mentioned Victor Martinez yet.
Victor Martinez in fourth. Now, let me take that back. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to move Victor Martinez in third.
Okay.
I'm going to go Branch Warren, Dexter Jackson, Victor Martinez. Who did I have before in third?
No,
I'm going to put Centopani in fourth.
Okay.
I'm going to put Winkler. Boy, I'm leaving out Wolf. This is tough.
Yeah. It's a tough lineup.
I'm going to put Wolf in fifth, Winkler in sixth, Obiad. Where I left out Raquel.
Ronnie Raquel.
Oh, man, I don't know. This is really hard. Gosh. Do I get to start over? Can I just?
I'm gonna put my predictions out there. You could think about yours if you want to reconsider. Look, I think Dexter Jackson is probably the guy that people have to beat out there because he's got the most experience. He's got the most Arnold's wins out there. Branch Warren being the hardest hardcore bodybuilder out there. Those guys, like you said, you would think they would be 1-2. But I really believe that Victor Martinez is going to put it all together for this show. And I'm going to make a very bold statement. I'm going to go Victor Martinez number 1. I'm going to go Branch Warren 2, Dexter Jackson 3, Centopani 4, Winkler 5th. And I'm going to say that Issa Obiad is going to sleep into 6th, and I'm going to put Dennis Wolf out of that top 6 group. I'm going to put him in 7th. I think him and Ronnie Raquel will be probably battling for 7th and 8th place. And, I'm probably wrong, but that's my predictions.
Well, it's easy to be wrong in this.
Actually, and I forgot Tony Freeman.
And Raquel.
Well, I said Ronnie Raquel.
Where'd you have Raquel?
I said Raquel and Wolf,
okay,
and I guess Freeman battling for that 7th spot.
Okay.
That's
tough. Yeah. Okay. Let me try to get my top 6 again.
And I got to tell you, what I based it on? I based it purely on conditioning. Guys who I know show up consistently. I don't know what they look like, but these are the guys that consistently show up. Issa is always tight. Ruli is always tight. Centopani is always in shape.
Okay. Let me try my top 6, my second and final time. Branch Warren. Dexter Jackson second. Victor Martinez third. Evan Centopani fourth. Ruli Winkler fifth. Issa Obiad sixth.
Okay, you heard it from the Swami and the Jumbo. We're probably both wrong as hell, but you know what? It's always fun to guess, and we won't know until the Arnold Classic comes up on the March 3rd and 4th weekend in 2011. For now, I'm Dave Palumbo with Lonnie the Swami Teper, rxmuscle.com.
We're out.